You just got signed as an idol agency's best rookie talent. You wake up the day before your debut and go to grab your phone. However, the once healthy skin on your hand has turned a greenish gray. You rise from your bed in alarm, then steel yourself to look in the mirror. Your appearance is shocking, so you check your pulse, but you feel nothing. At the same time, you feel perfectly normal. To your horror, you have become a zombie. You decide to call the hospital and take yourself to the emergency room. As you pick up your phone to dial the number, a nagging thought stills your hand. If you are in fact legally deceased, and you are in fact a zombie, what will happen if people find out? You reconsider and instead dial the number of your manager. You request an in-person meeting with them at your home. This is the start of your journey as a zombie idol. For the sake of this guide, we must make a few assumptions. Here are your starting conditions. You woke up as a zombie. There is no clear accident or obituary. There is no evidence of your deceased state. You start with a clean social media presence. There is no chance of future outrage over something you said or did in the past. Your manager knows your condition, but helps you keep it a secret. You're too valuable to replace and/or have a strong bond with your manager. If you don't meet one or more of these conditions, then your chance of getting found out drastically increases. As we see throughout the anime Zombieland Saga, factors A and B present the biggest risk. If you are confirmed as deceased, you must find a way to scrub that from your record. Your goal is to keep your secret and maintain your job as an idol. Now, there are two ways you can continue, as a traditional idol or as a VTuber. The VTuber option is the best choice by far, but let's say you really love the traditional in-person route. How are you going to hide it? First, there are some physical zombie traits you're going to have to conceal. Your dead skin, any supernatural abilities you may have such as detachable limbs, your body temperature, and any smells. You may need to take a risk and hire a professional makeup artist if neither yourself nor your manager can conceal your appearance effectively. You should also be careful not to bump into objects or perform in rain or high heat. You should keep public interactions to a minimum, because the more time someone spends with you up close, the more suspicious your appearance will seem. There should be many distractions on stage to draw the audience's eyes away from you during performances. You will want to debut as a solo act, because your partners would discover your condition eventually. For the same reason, you'll want to avoid any collaborations that make you interact personally with the other performer. But don't avoid collaborations entirely, because they're so ubiquitous that you would look suspicious declining every request. You may also have to take a rare interview, but it should be avoided in person if possible. As for the type of fan base you want to attract, typically the goal is to cultivate highly dedicated and borderline obsessive fans, because that will generate the best returns for the idol company. In this case, you will want the audience to value you much more for your talents than for any sort of personal connection. You want as few people as possible digging into your history and your present status. Now, supposing you become successful, some intense fans will be unavoidable. However, there are pitfalls you can avoid to minimize this. The first thing to avoid is spending time with your audience online. Why? Because time spent equals greater engagement. Make sure to reduce the time fans spend poring over your personal social media. Usually the goal for an entertainer is to be top of mind at all times. In your case, however, you will want to interact as little as you can while still seeming passable in this department. Avoiding excessive social media posting will also drastically decrease the possibility of a scandal over something you said. So how do we seem passable in the social media department? Well, the occasional retweet or congratulations for a high-effort artwork, a non-personal update about next week's concert, alright. Hourly posts about your day, personal stories and shoutouts, or responding to fans who took 10 seconds to reply to your post, absolutely not. As we see with some personalities, such behavior will lead to a cult-like following. Another thing to avoid is what I call stopgap content. Small releases and things to keep the audience thinking about you between your big projects. You want people anticipating your releases because they're so good, but not thinking about you on a daily basis. Finally, you'll want to avoid being hands-on in general. Designing your own merch, appearing in more interviews than necessary, and writing fans personalized, emotional announcements are all good examples of that. Your biggest challenge by far will be fan meet and greets and conventions. These are a staple of the in-person idol industry. You'll need a solution for your cold internal body temperature. Making sure your outfit incorporates gloves and adequate coverage is the simplest solution. If this is not enough, having clothing that generates heat via a rechargeable device beneath your outfit would help a lot. Thankfully, in the modern day, it is easy for your manager to order online for whatever you need to design your outfit. Now, let's talk about the Vtuber route. You can be more lenient about many of the things we have already discussed, but I'd still err on the less interactive side of VTubing personalities. This means being a VTuber that is always in character. What should your character be, then? The best choice would be a supernatural character who is not a zombie. That way you could cover any strange happenings, while avoiding planting the idea that you could be a zombie in your viewers' minds. As far as content goes, the best approach is a meme lord generalist or someone who heavily relies on character lore with an intricate storyline. Those with analytical minds will be focusing on the aspects of your story instead of figuring out your whole deal IRL. However, that approach will also attract more people with an investigative nature, so it's a little more risky than being only a meme lord. Collaboration streams are ideal in your circumstance. Your audience's focus will be on the interactions and not on you. The more people who collaborate on a stream, the better. A word of caution, though. Do not, I repeat, do not engage the shipping community at all. Sure, the shippers might be focused on the ship, but guess what they'll also focus on? You. Some shippers can be just as risky as self-inserters when it comes to wanting to know more about the personality behind the character. Therefore, during collabs, you'll want to trash the TT and stick to platonic interactions alone. Heck, maybe you'll get the bonus of being memed as a brick wall. Speaking of things you shouldn't do, here are the types of streams that should be done rarely, if ever. First and foremost is the Zatsudon stream. What is that? Well, it's a stream where the focus is on you talking to chat. I will also include streams that involve you doing an IRL activity such as cooking and drawing streams. Any stream with a webcam is a huge, unnecessary risk. Zatsudons are a chance for your audience to get to know you better, and they're also a chance for you to slip up and say something that alludes to your condition. Second are streams that announce your IRL activities. These include I'm leaving or I'm back streams, vacation or event story streams, and life updates. These streams increase intimacy, and that is the last thing you want. Now we'll move to the safer stream types. Let's Plays. Single or multiplayer Let's Plays without a storyline are the best. This means staying away from emotionally driven series like It Takes Two, or creating your own narrative with The Sims. A challenging platformer, rhythm or puzzle game, or racing game are good examples of what you should aim for. You could also try news, talk shows, and meme reviews, teaching and analysis streams, big 3D collaborations, or karaoke and music. Any combination of these streams should serve you well. With these restrictions in mind, you should be able to hide your condition for years to come. Do your best to avoid scandals, release infrequent, high-quality content outside of streams, and keep audience connection to a minimum. Oh, and once you've achieved a level of success where you're set for life, it may be wise to retire. Some of the advice I gave will hurt your growth as a creator, so ultimately, the level of risk is for you to decide. Thank you for watching, and feel free to check out the Waifu Theory Discord if you enjoy my content. See you next time!